Oh, welcome back to another video. So today I was gonna do a Chapter 7 Season 3 review, but that video just became a nightmare to make, so I figured why not do something smaller and rate all of the sprites that we got for this season, which is the main thing of this season. So these are basically like they make the game an extraction shooter, basically, kind of. So what you do in the mid game is you find sprites, you level up said sprites, and then you go to extract them with either a extraction site, which are dotted around the map, or you can use a portable extractor and extract them wherever the hell you are. And there are, I believe, 25 sprites, each having their own variant, except some like the John Wick, Iron Mouse, Vinny Jr. And yeah, that's essentially what sprites are. So let's we'll rate them all on a scale of 1 to 10, starting off with variants, since there's a lot shorter version of variants compared to the actual sprites themselves. Starting off with the gold one. So you get 3 times 3 bonus XP from eliminations. This is very useful when you are leveling up. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. It's useful. The gummy variant. So you gain 20% more sprite dust upon extraction. I'm going to say this one is pretty useful as well, because sprite dust, you're going to mainly use it to get back sprites that you have lost in previous matches. Like, for example, if I was to lose this gummy Batman sprite before this week and I lost it, I would have to use sprite dust to get it back. But you can also buy a portable extractor, 20,000 level XP, and also you can upgrade your weapons and track down more sprites. So the sprite dust is useful. Same with the 20% more sprite dust that you get from the government sprites. So yeah, again, 6 out of 10. The Galaxy sprites. So you gain 30% more ammo. That's a good feature. However, you don't really need help getting ammo. You can get ammo at a lot of places on the map. Ammo isn't exactly rare. So, I mean, for like heavy ammo, you might need it. Might need a Galaxy, but like shotgun shells, light, medium ammo, it's kind of useless, so 4 out of 10. The holofoil, the best sprite variant to have when you are trying to get more sprites, as this raises your chances for your squad to find a rare sprite variant, you or your squad. This is best with a squad though, as you get a 20% higher chance of finding a rare sprite variant from looting chests. 8 out of 10. This, wow. This is a luxury to have. The quack sprites. Now these sprites you get a little bit differently compared to the others. There are only 4 of these: water, earth, fire, and 0 point. You don't actually find these from chests. You can find them in Battle Royale from killing people. However, you can also get these from the rewards. So essentially, if you get around 35 to 55 sprites maxed out, you can get these quack sprites, these quack variants. And these give you 50% more sprite XP to all other sprites in your inventory. So it's a quicker method to actually get them maxed up and extracted. 5 out of 10. It's not useless, but it's also not useful as well. Because, well, it's situational. It depends if you have more sprites in your inventory, more than one sprite in your inventory. Situational. The gem sprite. So you take 30% less fall damage. This is a luxury to have. However, in zero build it is kind of useless because you have glider redeploy. So yeah, do that as you will. I'm gonna, yeah, again, situational, 5 out of 10. Cube sprites. For how rare they are bloody useless. Because you get the overdrive effect in the storm. Who is going in the storm on purpose though? Come on. It's a storm, for God's sakes. You're gonna want to be in the circle, not the zone, and not the storm. 1 out of 10, this is bloody useless. Now onto the actual sprites themselves. The Batman sprite you're starting off with. So this essentially gives you glider redeploy, except you don't redeploy your actual glider, you get Batman's glider. Useful in builds and in zero builds as well. However, when you are actually going down from the battle bus, what I do is when you have to deploy glider, I just go into freefall and then deploy my glider when I'm close to the ground. Sometimes a Batman sprite just launches me up in the air. It is bloody annoying. So for that, it's situational, 5 out of 10. John Wick sprite. So when you knock a player, well, in solos, eliminating works as well, by the way. Or also in squads when you knock someone. It reveals players nearby. A good feature getting this is a nightmare because you have to do it in the Springfield reload map, which sucks. I don't like the Springfield reload map, and getting this was a nightmare. I got this one given to me by someone. So I didn't find it myself, I got it given to me. I just had that much of a hard time finding this, so for that, 4 out of 10. Water sprite. One of the 3 default ones that you get when you log in. So this replenishes shield when in the water for you and your nearby squad. This is very situational. 3 out of 10 because you're not going to be in the water very much, are you? Especially when you have the 7-siders, because you're going to be gliding over them, not actually in the water. Earth sprite. So this is one of the 3 looting ones that you get. So you have a chance to find additional rare items when opening chests. So this one, you find them when opening chests. It's 4 out of 10. This is the mid one of the 3. Fire sprite, the best one of the default sprites. So basically, when you shoot someone, that you basically launch fire at them. So the person who's shooting that gets set on fire. This was broken beforehand because it would spawn at a fiery area when you eliminate someone. And oftentimes you would just die to your own fire. It was annoying, but then Epic fixed it, and now, yeah, it shoots fire into the person when you hit them. So for that, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. The Duck Sprite, 1 out of 10. Emote and Jam replenish your shield. You don't even get cloaked when you do that. It's useless. 1 out of 10. Ghost Sprite. This one grants you cloak when you're reloading. So, contrary to the Duck Sprite, you are vulnerable when you're reloading. However, you get that cloak when you are reloading with this one. 8 out of 10. This is a great one to have because you are hidden. Enemies can't see you unless they are close up to you. Okay, yeah, good luck. But other than that, yeah, 8 out of 10. Now for the Dream Sprite. This is the better one of the 3 loot ones. Grants a random item at each level. So when you level up, you get an item. And it explodes with legendary loot at max level. Essentially, it extracts itself. Yeah. this is definitely one of the better one of the loot ones. You don't really need help looting normally. However, this one in particular is the best one because you get more loot each level. You don't actually have to kill anyone or loot anything to get an item. You do have to level up anyway. However, this one you get something for leveling up. So this is definitely the best one of the loot ones. 7 out of 10. Demon Sprite gives you a siphon, which if you don't know what that is, when you eliminate someone, you get more health and shield, which is a luxury to have. So for this one, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Siphon is an absolute luxury. Yeah, it's great. Punk Sprite is the Mbappe special, 0 out of 10. The King Sprite is very situational because your pickaxe deals more damage with this one, so in builds it is a luxury to have. However, in zero builds, do you really need it? Because like, you have a gun already in zero builds, so you don't need to farm materials. So it's like, do you actually need this one? No, you don't. So for that, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10 simply because of how situational it is. The Bumpino. So this is a collab one as well. The third one of the looting ones. However, this one is when you eliminate someone. Apparently you can get mythics with this one. I have never gotten a mythic though when using the sprite. So 4 out of 10, false advertisement. Vinny Jr. So sprint in for a short amount of time, make sure you're slide destructive. Slide kicking enemies increases the rate of fire and reload speed. Builds, I guess it's useful. However, you're not really going to be slide kicking enemies, really. The rate of fire and reload speed is certainly a luxury. However, you're not really going to be slide kicking enemies on purpose, are you? Most of the time that happens on accident, and even then that's really hard to do. So again, 4 out of 10. 0 point Sprite. They could have given this one the 0 point dashes, but for some reason they decided to give it as Shield Ball Junior. For how rare it is, I'm gonna have to give this one a 3 out of 10 because for how rare it is, the Shield Ball Junior isn't really worth it. So yeah, for that, 3 out of 10. Fishy Sprite. Swim speed greatly increased. Taking damage also briefly increases the movement speed. Again, situational. You're not going to be in the water very much, but also the damage one is a nice luxury to have, so I'm going to give that a 6 out of 10. The Striker Sprite. This is the better of the two football ones, in my opinion, because this one, you get the overdrive effect when you mantle hurt on wall scramble. So unlike the Vinny Jr. one, this is the better one to have because you're not going to be sliding as much. You are going to be sliding, but you're not going to be like slide kicking enemies. However, you are definitely going to be mantling, hurdling, and wall scrambling. So this is definitely the better one to have. 8 out of 10. Excellent mobility. The Aura Sprite. So you get a shock rock when you deal enough damage to enemies. If you're absolutely ass at the game, you're not going to be seeing a shock rock really. But if you're decent, you'll probably see 1 or 2. So yeah, it depends on really if you're good at the game or not. So 6 out of 10 for the situational factor. The Boss Sprite is the best sprite in the game because it gives you more HP. So if you're level 1, you get 105 HP. Level 2, 110. You get the gist. So at level 5, you get 125 HP and then shields as well. This is definitely the sprites you want to have in any mode. Builds or zero builds, you are going to want this sprite because it gives you more HP. So for that, 10 out of 10. Let's go. Grim Sprite. Definitely the better of the two really rare sprites. This one essentially marks people who attack you. So this is really great for combating the third parties. The issue with it though is the rarity. A lot of people are going to want to Grim Sprite. A lot of people are going to try Sprite sniping you for it. So you might not come across a third party, however you more likely come across a fifth party or whatever. However, it is good at combating third parties. So 9 out of 10. This is definitely about one of the two really, really rare ones. Air Sprite, the best one of the common ones, in my opinion, because of the mobility factor. Increases sprinting speed and jump height when you're sprinting, of course. Nullifies fall damage. So this is kind of annoying in builds because you don't have infinite sprint. However, in zero builds, this is a gem. Because in zero builds, when you hold your pickaxe, you get infinite sprint. So the Air Sprite in zero build is impeccable. Builds is good as well. However, you don't have the infinite sprint feature like in zero builds. In zero builds, this is one of the best sprites to have. So 7 out of 10. Yeah, 7 out of 10 because it is situational. However, in both modes, it is good. It's just you don't have the unlimited sprint in builds. The 7 Sprite, or as I like to call this one, Foundation Sprite, because it's based off of the Foundation. Enemy player foot trails are visible in the game for you and your squad. So it's not just you as well; it's for your squad as well. This is a great sprite to have. 8 out of 10. Because who wouldn't want to track people, hey? Who wouldn't want to track people? Now the Iron Mouse sprite. This one is the Ghost Sprite. Oh, excuse me. Except it's not for reloading, it's for healing. So it's essentially the same as the Ghost Sprite, except it's for healing. Also, it regenerates health over time when low. When you're low on health, so you get more health really. When you're running low, it heals for you. So it's the Ghost Sprite, but with that feature, except it doesn't. Yeah, 8 out of 10 as well. It's a good sprite to have, especially for the cloak. Poyo Sprite. Upon an elimination, slowly replenish shield for you and your nearby squad members for a duration. So you basically get shield replenishment after elimination. It is a good sprite to have for that feature. So yeah, 7 out of 10. The shield replenishment is kind of slow. However, it's not as bad as the Duck Sprite because you're not vulnerable when you do it. You can just hide and replenish shield, or when you're moving around, it replenishes shield as well. So you're not as vulnerable as the Duck Sprite. However, you do get the same. So it's basically the Duck Sprite but better. 7 out of 10. Looting Llama Sprite. So when opening ammo boxes, you allegedly get a chance to be granted a weapon upgrade. This happened to me one time. So the chance is extremely low. 4 out of 10. This thing is basically useless. The Peaky Peely Sprite is essentially a medallion. Well, all of these sprites are essentially medallions. However, the Peaky Peely Sprite acts more like a medallion because it actually reveals where you are. The others don't reveal where you are. The Peaky Peely Sprite does. But also it marks a rare sprite variants nearby, including enemies with variants. So you can find more rare sprites. However, you are revealed on the map. I don't know. I'm gonna have to give this one a 4 out of 10 because it's the issue I have with medallion. Well, a issue I have with medallions because they could be ass and your location is real. So do you even want this? Don't get me wrong. This is good for sprite collecting. However, someone like me, I have most of the sprites in the game. So do I really want this? No, I don't really need it. So yeah, 4 out of 10. So yeah, sprites. They definitely save the game. they're coming back in season 4. Hold on a minute. Yeah, they're a good little feature for mid game. Main highlight for season 3. Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. I mean, as a casual player myself, I'm a pretty good fan of the sprites. Definite glow up from chapter 6, which I'm pretty sure they did nothing in that chapter. And it's nice that they are being given a second chance. And yeah, this is basically the same game. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.